Welcome to the Plato Paradigm, a paradigm shift in reading Plato's dialogues. Episode 251, Lysis 222c. The conversation on philia has ended up in a very unsatisfactory case for Lysis, who has found that, according to the recent argument, he should love Hippothales, his Erastes. Although the name hasn't been mentioned, everyone understands what's going on here. As if to mitigate the situation, Socrates reminds the boys that actually the whole conversation has been a complete mess. It's gone in all different directions. A friend has been found not to be like to like, or different to different, or possibly neutral to good. And now we have something which is one's own as something that we should love. We should love our arms, our legs, and our Erastes. I say that Socrates reminds the boys that the conversation has been all over the place because they aren't really all that concerned. He has to remind them that they should be puzzled. Now let's see how he reminds them. Boulest un endego epede hospermethumen hupotulogu suncho resomen kai fomen heteronti enai to oikeon tu homoiou panuge. Do you wish then, I said, since we are, as it were, drunk by the logos, the argument, that we agree and claim that what is one's own is other than the similar? Absolutely. It isn't clear who replies, but if Lysis replies, he's just making things worse for himself, because he's now agreeing that the argument does seem to show that he should love what is his own, and his own here is the Erastes Hippothales. Socrates just now had only just reminded them that the same is useless to the same, and it would be absurd to say that what is useless is friendly or a friend. If what is one's own is different from the same, it would mean in binary logic that what is one's own is far from useless. It is actually useful and therefore friendly. By this logic, it should be the Erastes who is friendly because he is now found to be useful, but in fact the Erastes simply lusts, while it is the Eromenos, the one being lusted, who Socrates said should love what is his own. In other words, Lysis is the one who should be a friend, or philos in some way, friendly to or a friend of the Erastes Hippothales. Hippothales doesn't have to be a friend back, unless, of course, it is assumed that lust is one form of philia. Something easily passed over in this sentence is what Socrates says about the feeling we have after such an argument. He says, we are, as it were, drunk by the logos. The logos has made us drunk. How would a logos make anyone drunk? Obviously, it's referring to the effects of alcohol, and we would feel dizzy, if not completely incapacitated. Socrates could have used any word to do with being puzzled in such a situation, but he's chosen to talk about being drunk. Is this mere chance, or is Socrates hinting at something? We're already at the end of the dialogue, and in a few lines we'll see that the paidagogoi, the slaves who escort the boys to make sure that nothing happens to them, will come, and they are a bit tipsy. Does Socrates feel the need to foreshadow that? I think it's quite the reverse. The paidagogoi might be there to remind us of this, that Socrates said that we are, as it were, drunk by the logos. The obvious question we should be asking is, what makes us drunk, really? It's not logos, it's wine. Has wine been mentioned already in the dialogue? Yes, it has. The father, who is concerned about his idiot son drinking hemlock, thinks that alcohol is the remedy, and because he thinks wine is the remedy, wine at that moment becomes philon. It's dear to the father, and because of that, the glass holding the wine also becomes dear to him. The wine and the cup holding the wine are examples to show that things are dear when they contribute to the welfare of something which is always dear. For some reason, the son of this father is dear to the father always, but he has drunk hemlock. If the father now applies wine to his son, what would we expect? If the wine actually is a remedy for hemlock, which we know it isn't, but that doesn't matter, if the wine is a remedy for hemlock, the boy will become well again, but he will be drunk until the remedy wears off. If the logos is likened to wine, it is a remedy for some illness. What could be that illness? Again, we don't have to guess too much. It is a remedy for hemlock. Somebody has been drinking hemlock, and it would mean that somebody else has been giving hemlock. I would suggest that the one giving hemlock is anybody other than Socrates. Socrates is the one who supplies wine. He is the one who makes people drunk, but he does so in order to attempt at least to cure them of hemlock. Other people are not giving wine. They are not making people drunk. These people would appear to be the less dangerous people. Socrates is a dangerous individual. He makes people drunk. If we regard Socrates as a form of educator, then we see that drinking is analogous to the education. If Socrates educates, are there any other people in the dialogue who also educate, also have an influence on the boys? And if we start looking like that, we will find there are quite a few. We could start with the parents of Lysis. They are concerned for the welfare of Lysis and want to teach him all sorts of technai, for which reason they employ technitai, craftsmen, or slaves who are able to teach the boy how to do basic things like driving oxen. I don't know if he actually learns how to do that, or riding a chariot, which he still cannot do, or he even attempts to weave and spin, but his mother doesn't allow him to do that. He's incompetent. And we remember in the first discussion Socrates has with Lysis, without Menexenus present, he creates the atmosphere in which Lysis is encouraged to resent being controlled by all these people who won't let him do anything simply because he doesn't know. He hasn't mastered the techne. All these people mean well, but they are creating a possible monster. Lysis has said, in this same argument with Socrates, that he would become someone that they want once he has mastered the appropriate techne. When he learns how to run the household, his father will then appreciate him. And not only that, he will hand over everything to Lysis because Lysis will know what to do better than his father. And Socrates leads him on to his neighbor. He will take over his neighbor's things when he knows the appropriate techne, and eventually he will run the polis and then the entire Greek world. This isn't to say that this is the point of the dialogue. Lysis simply is a boy who hasn't really learnt why people learn techne, and he thinks that the philia he should be getting is to do with merit. It's conditional. He will be philos to others when he is useful to them. As for Menexenus, Lysis jokingly and Socrates jokingly treat Ctesippus, the cousin of Menexenus, as the one who teaches Menexenus to be an eristician. So Ctesippus is being portrayed as an educator as well, although this is more in jest, but it is done in order to represent the other side of meritocracy. While Lysis thinks that he has to learn all the techne, Menexenus thinks that he can simply learn how to beat people in debate. Both of them want to appear to be good. And then we have Hippothales. As an erastes, it was traditional to view the erastes as at least being the one who can introduce the boy he lusts into manly society. He can introduce him to the way things are done, and he can introduce him to the people who are worth knowing. None of these educators are teaching people to be good, but to appear to be good, and I suggest that they are the ones giving the hemlock.